Hello and welcome to iCatholic. I'm Wendy Grace. Well, hope is springing on the horizons in relation to the end of pandemic restrictions. So what does that mean for our churches and our parishes? There's lots of new and exciting initiatives and old initiatives that can once again resume. And we're going to be talking about one of those today. I'm joined in studio by Charlotte Vard and Fr David Vard, who are going to talk to us about a confirmation resource that they're working on, but also just in general, what is on the horizon in a post-pandemic Ireland. Thanks for joining us in studio today. So Charlotte, I know a lot of your work is with young people, so you've probably had a difficult few years just in terms of actually trying to do your job.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had to adapt like everyone. We moved online for a lot of it quite quickly. In the May 2020, we moved online onto Zoom like everyone. I work with an Amadeus youth group in Newbridge Parish and the JP2s. Difficult to move online, but we had to. The last kind of 12 months, we got back in person on and off. But we're very much looking forward to staying on in person and not going back to Zoom.
Yeah, and to have that sense of community,
yes,
and welcoming young people back into the church again, which is exciting,
absolutely.
as you say. Well, Father David, you've been working very hard over the last few years.
Yeah.
Your ministering hasn't stopped. Tell us about what life has been like for you.
Yeah, so in Portlaoise we have the hospital, so that was a huge part. Nursing homes, so all these things had to go ahead. We still had then the regular parish stuff. We had confirmation in 2021 in the local stadium, for example, because we felt that was an outdoor setting, best place to have it. So the regular ministry continued during COVID, obviously took on a new perspective, and we had to change. We went online. We're very blessed in Portlaoise. We're already quite active online. We had webcam and stuff like that. But it's fantastic now that we can welcome back people physically to our church without wondering, is it too full, is it too cramped, do we have enough signage and social distancing, and like even altar servers, we can welcome them back now. We have confirmations coming up, and it's not a case of, limit your numbers or don't do this, don't do that. We can come, do this, participate. We can't wait to go back into the schools and be more interactive with them instead of standing at the door afraid to go into the classroom. So it's an exciting time again. It feels like a fresh start to our ministry.
And is there opportunities in that? You have a lot of children who are waiting for sacraments, or it could be baptisms, confirmations, communions, all these things happening. And for many of those families, they mightn't have attended church pre-COVID. So is there an opportunity now to say, it's great, these things are happening again, but why don't you come back next week too? How do we best minister to those people and their children?
I think it's a great opportunity. Like I said, we're starting again. And there's even a group of people who before COVID were with us and maybe they haven't come back. So we can now welcome people back, extend that invitation to them and extend it like welcome back. This is great, we're open again. Please come to our church, come be with each other, be part of our community. And it's a real sense of, let's do this again and let's start again, let's begin again.
Use that energy that you have, yeah. And do you find, Charlotte, young people, are they hungry to learn about their faith?
I think so. I think people are looking for something after everything that they've gone through. And I think that people have, certainly online, our numbers grew massively from looking at analytics. That was part of my job, and certainly our numbers rose dramatically. And comments and things, people were saying, I wasn't a mass goer and I tuned in every week. So I'm hoping they walk through the doors, and let's see if they do.
One of the initiatives that you're working on is for confirmation age children. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we started last year. We moved our confirmation retreat online. We came into the studio because the kids couldn't go out to the confirmation retreat as they normally would. So we did a virtual confirmation retreat, and this year we're doing it again. It went down quite well, so there was a demand for it, so we're back again doing it. So
what can people expect from the resource then?
Well, I think the theme which is behind us here, seek and you shall find, I think it speaks directly to what we were just saying, that people were searching during this pandemic.
I think there was a good few reports saying the average person was praying more or started to pray again. And a lot of people, things are put in perspective. What really matters, what counts. So how do we build on that?
So like we're saying now to these boys and girls in 5th and 6th class, when they're making the confirmation, they're taking on this responsibility. And confirmation is not the end, as many people might see it. It's the beginning of their faith journey. So keep seeking, search. You have now confirmation, you're being confirmed in the Holy Spirit, you have those gifts and those fruits, and use them, and this is our church, this is our truth, this is our faith. We would love you to be with us, and we're encouraging you to be with us and to stay with us.
It's one of those things when you, for adults, maybe reflecting back on their confirmation, when you think of the gifts that we get, wisdom, gentleness, patience, all of these things they're all things that I certainly would love to have more of.
Yeah.
And how do adults watching this say, I want to reconnect in with those things again, with those elements of my faith, but I just don't know where to start because I've fallen away from it for so long.
And I fell away from my faith in my teenage years at Charlotte, like we did too. To start from the very beginning, and it doesn't have to be a prayer session. It could be calling to the church, lighting a candle. It could be Googling, what were the gifts and fruits of the Holy Spirit, let's just say. But also reflecting on my life. Oh, I do use that. I do use courage and I do use right judgment. And I may not have I've linked it to my confirmation. I may not have used church words or faith words, but reflect on I think we've gotten so reflective during this period as well. Then now let's introduce the concept of God into that. Let's reintroduce the concept of faith and let's talk about it. Let's use the courage and the right judgment and the wisdom and the knowledge to talk about our faith and not be afraid to have those conversations with other people. As we gather again together for coffee and for dinner, talk to friends, talk to other people, and see, maybe I'm not alone in this faith journey, and that's okay. Or maybe I am. That's okay too. But connect in things like U2000, or there's so many online stuff. Even Father Mike Smith's Bible in the Ear. That's a great resource podcast. Apps galore out there about faith. Let's use these things and let's not be afraid to have them on our phones, in our cars, and talk to people about them.
Yeah, and finally, just to ask you both, I'm sure people watching will be encouraged to see, a young person, a young priest talking about their faith so openly. Did you find during the pandemic that your faith helped you? Did it help you get through it?
Absolutely. I think it nearly gave me more time to learn about my own faith and to look at it. And David spoke about the different apps, Pray As You Go being one of them. Every day I turn on the app and listen to the Gospel of the day, and life slowed down, so I slowed down. So it definitely gave me a perspective on what's important.
Yeah, the same. Even in a parish, we could be so caught up in the treadmill of, okay, we have Christmas, after Christmas we have confirmations, and we have Lent, and then we have Easter, and then we have communions, and all that went away, really. We still had the liturgical year, but all the fuss went away, and we got to really focus on what's important. It's the sharing of the faith. It's the giving of the good news. It's the hope that our faith gives, especially when it came to people who were dying during that time, funerals. Faith gave them hope.
It was also one of the hardest parts, I would say.
Absolutely. Yeah. But, when we had funerals of 10 people, when we had family members couldn't be with loved ones who were in hospital and they were passing away, they still I know they're not alone. And I might be with them outside of a window, and I'm saying, your mother or your father's not alone. That God is with them, we're here with them, and our prayers are uniting and are surrounding them and being with them. And that gave me and allowed me then to tap into my own faith, and not just saying these words, but believing these words and being there for people. So it was a huge pause, but it was much needed, I think.
Yeah. There was we could find God in among the difficulties and the darkness. And now it sounds like, from chatting to you both, there's a lot of hope and light on the horizon.
And let's bring it out of the darkness into the light, and let's continue.
Well, Charlotte and Father David, thank you so much for joining us on iCatholic today.
Thank you, Wendy.